everyone, thanks for stopping by. I'm Kara Elizabeth, a 3-5 emotional manifestor, here to provide you with your weekly energetic weather report via human design, a system that combines aspects of astrology, the I Ching, the chakra system, and the Kabbalistic tree of life. Now, every human design journey begins with looking up your unique human design chart, and you can do that at www.myhumandesign.com. Transits are the specific energies that are present in the universe at any given moment. I go over the sun and earth, the sun being our main experience and the earth being how we're grounding in it. And each transit tends to hang around for about 6 days. Now, my goal is to provide you with a general cosmic heads up on how you can expect to feel, what you can expect to experience, and how to best navigate your week. So if you're ready to go, let's get started. Hello everyone, so it is that time of the week again. The transits have officially shifted, and actually they shifted about 3 days ago. Your girl's just a tad bit late to this one. Yeah, hopefully you guys have been making it out there without me. This one's been a little bit interesting to say the least, and I think as we move through this one together and I share my experiences with it with you, you are going to see how they very much play into transit, why I showed up late to the party to this one. And I'm also very curious to know what you guys' experiences have been with this one. Because this is all about sharing your experiences, funny enough. So we are still transiting through the throat center and the sacral center. So it's nothing new in that regard. We have been transiting these centers for the last, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. So almost the last month. It's been very present moment type of energy. All of my non-sacral beings, you're more than likely have had a sacral at some point or another through these transits. So you've gotten either, you're going to experience that in one of two ways. Either you're going to have a shit ton more energy than you normally do, or you may have 0 to no energy and you may be resting a lot. It really just depends on where you're at when that defined sacral comes in for you and how you're feeling and how you experience that. It's all very personal. And then still moving through the throat. So it's also all about communication, really focusing on communicating our experiences and desires with others. So let's just go ahead and just dive right on in here, and let's not waste any more time. So sun is our main experience, and we shifted into gate 35, which comes out of the throat. And yep, you guessed it, this one's all about sharing your experiences with others, having new experiences and then sharing them. So Jenna Zoe says that gift 35 is always looking for new things to experience. And once they've lived through something interesting, they love to share it and pass it on with others. And of course, this is going to be all of us for the next 3 more days of the transit. So it's been us for the last 3. It'll be us still for the next 3. Okay. This is how we speed up our forward progression as a collective. By pooling the findings and experiences that each one of us gathers and turning it into gold. So gift 35 is someone that other people will love to live and learn vicariously through. So these are going to be your storytellers, okay? These people are the opposite of stagnant because they like to keep things new and varied. They're also going to be the people that don't cling to shit, okay? They're always doing something new, and they're like the people that were just like, wow, I want your life. So anyways, or they may be like a complete opposite reaction, like, ooh, like they may look like to some like they're lacking stability, but no, this is actually exactly the way they should be. So anyways, where was I? So these people are the opposite of stagnant because they like to keep things new and varied. This keeps life fresh and interesting for themselves and others around them, ensuring that life stays colorful and that we get out of the familiar for a little bit. They are adept at pulling us towards trying new things that could better our lives because most of us are hesitant and resistant to change. Gift 35 does not hold on to things that don't serve it for very long in any form, be that little things like clothing and bigger things like jobs. If they're not enjoying it, it's out. They move quickly. So let me just tell you what I've seen this week, what I've observed from other people in my environment. So very true about the jobs. I saw one of my friends posting that she left a job that she had been at, I think, for about 10 years, and she's moving on to something else. Okay, like that is very much this energy. And of course, like it happens during this transit. And then as far as like trying new things to get out of the familiar. Okay, like my family and I just went on a vacation because we haven't vacationed in years. And this was technically like our first family vacation together. We decided to go somewhere that we've never been. And it just have an experience that we've never experienced before. And I'm going to tell you what, like it was quite interesting, and we may or may not get into that a little bit later, but let's just say like it was definitely a very colorful experience, we'll put it that way. So very interesting. So let's just go ahead and let's just keep going here. So that was my experiences with that. Now, she continues and says that the best use of this gift is to pass on things that you feel a genuine passion for without questioning its usefulness or validity. You just never know how it will become valuable, nor are you really meant to. And don't talk about things just to get validation, worth, or belonging for others because this compromises the integrity of your gift. Your voice is precious. Reserving it for only times and topics that are truly aligned will make the words you do speak go so much faster. Now, I think this last bit is probably why it took me so long to actually sit down and record this transit this week, because I've had some opportunities like over the past couple of days to like be alone and sit down and record for you guys, but I just couldn't do it. Like, I can't tell you like how many times I actually like attempted, even like hit that record button and started talking. And I was just like, yuck, this is just not aligned. This is not time. This is not time for me to speak right now. And this is transit. Like, I just really didn't feel like doing it until now. So you're welcome. So that's another experience. So apparently, like looking back in hindsight, I feel like I needed to get through this first half because like the first half of just any transit each week, it's very personal. So it's when we're, gathering information, when we're sitting with ourselves, when we're observing what's coming in for us in our environment. And this is also about like synchronicities and opportunities coming in this week through transit, through the earth, which we'll talk about here shortly. And it's like you have to kind of be in observation mode to really notice things like that are coming in sometimes, because sometimes they're not like these huge like red flashing light type of things happening. Like they're things that may be like very subtle and you can miss them. But anyways, back to the topic at hand here. I really feel like this is just transit, but I'm here now. And also the sacral is very present moment. And so it's like finally this moment, it finally aligned for me to come on here and talk about this. But like I said, I feel like I just needed to get some experiences under my belt with this one before it was like truly aligned for me to share about it. So anyways, let's move on and let's see how we can make the most of this energy. And Jenna Zoe talks about a couple of things here. So the first one is learning before you move on. So basically learning the lesson from an experience before you just move on. So it's like, don't move on from it too quickly before you can like really sit and process it, is what she's saying there. And then the second thing she's saying is get clear on what things that you value and which things you actually want to hold on to. So what is worth holding on to? What needs to be let go? So it's like really taking stock here. So let's dig a little deeper. So learning before you move on. Ideally, moving on to new things makes you wiser because you amass wisdom about yourself and life in doing so. Make sure that you're not just cycling through things for the novelty of them, though, and then tossing them. Reflect, get the wisdom from your previous thing before you move on completely to the next. Good questions to ask are, what did that thing tell me about myself and my life? And what would be a more ideal way for things to be going forward? So just a couple of things to ponder there. And I'm going to share this experience with you. So over the weekend, I got engaged. Like my partner proposed to me. It was beautiful, amazing. There was so much joy there. But of course, as we all know, like joy cannot exist without its counterparts. So without a little bit of sorrow, right? So it's like I had this amazingly like joyful experience in that of getting proposed to and getting engaged to the love of my life. And the next day, like, and of course, like I'm on like a super emotional high, obviously, from that experience. And then the very next day, I got so triggered by that experience and just like, you know, just how it happened and just a whole bunch of other things. It was almost like the perfect storm. Like I just got extremely triggered and I had all of this like past fears come up that I thought I had worked through and let go. Like just so many fears, so many, let's just say like, I was just guilting and shaming the shit out of myself, okay, with like the things that was coming up for me. And so it was like I went from being on this emotional high to like a very, very deep emotional low the very next day. And I truly believe that that was me making the most out of this energy here, because it's like, you know, obviously being proposed to and engaged is a very new experience. You know, being someone's fiance, knowing that you're going to marry them and spend the rest of your life with them. That's like a very profound new experience for me anyways. And there were obviously some things that I needed to process emotionally and work through, you know, shifting my mindset on before I could really like fully move forward in this new energy, like in this new beginning, basically. Like there were still some things from the past I needed to clean up. And so that's what I feel like she's referring to here. So you may be having like a similar experience or you may not. That was just my experience with this, is there were just, I had to clean up some shit before I could truly move forward into this like, you know, joyful space that I wanted to be in. Okay. So then next thing, getting clear on what things you value and which ones you want to hold on to and which ones you want to let go of. So throughout your pursuit of new and novel things, there will be some that you want to keep for the long term. However, these might get boring to you after the novelty wears off, and you may end up not valuing them or taking them for granted. So find ways to bring newness to them and to keep things interesting. When you can do this, you have truly mastered your gift. Now, I feel like the perfect example of this would be, you know, say like a couple that's been married for 30 years. You know, I mean, that's a long time, right? And, you know, I'm sure there's been like tons of ups and downs. You know, there's been the honeymoon phase. There's been probably just lots of highs and lows. We'll just leave it at that. We'll keep it simple. Lots of highs and lows in that relationship. And then also, I mean, you know, after 30 years, I'm sure there was probably some like stagnant moments in the relationship as well, just from being together for so long, you know, and I'm sure, you know, that like you begin to take your relationship for granted, and, you know, I'm sure just like experiencing things like this within that, you know, that period of time. And so like, what would a couple have to do? Like, you know, when you hear about couples like doing things to try and bring the spark back in, that's what she's talking about here. And that's like when you can do that and you can like renew something, then like, you know, bring that like renewal of energy in. That's what she's saying, like where you like master this gift. Then she says, don't be afraid to let go of things that don't make you happy, but that society tells you that you have to hold on to. So, example, just because you've been told long relationships are good, or that living in a home for 20 years is stable, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for you. And I'll give you a prime example of that. So I just saw that a friend of mine, like I actually spoke about this a minute ago, like a friend of mine, you know, was at a job for like 10 years. And this was the week she quit and left, and she's going to a new place. So, you know, she's like prime example of this right here, a flex in this energy and doing it. And just the fact that she did it this week, and she has like no awareness of the transit. I don't even think she listens to this, but it just goes to show you like, that's like such a great use of this energy was for her to do that. And for her to do it now, it was just fascinating to me. Anyways, essentially, mastering this gift is bringing freshness and excitement to the things in your life that you already love, and discarding all the things that you don't, so that you can find even more things that you love. Don't ever be afraid to update and renew anything. So anything in any area of your life, this is where this transit gets super personal and is going to be very different for every single one of you. So, of course, leave me a comment. Let me know how you're experiencing this. So fascinated and curious by it. Okay, so where can we struggle here? What can block us from making the most of this energy? And that is a couple of different things. So impatience, being impatient is one. The second is looking to the future at the expense of appreciating the present moment. So she says on that one, make sure that you're not just being restless and never satisfied. So take in all the good stuff that you have manifested in your life as it's happening. So, like I said, we are transiting the sacral. The sacral is a very present moment type of energy. We've been here the last month. You've had lots of practice over the years as well. So, present moment. Really appreciate, like sit back and just take a few moments. If it feels right for you, just sit back and take a look at your life and just see how it's unfolded for you over the years. You know, just try and like look back and remember like everything that you prayed for, and see how much of that you've actually gotten and that you probably like take for granted now. So yeah, just do that. Nice. Experiment with it. See if it feels good. Then the second thing is being impatient. So the gift 35 gets bored when it seems like nothing is happening. So see those moments as the in-betweens, the breathers life is giving you, so that you can do some reflecting before the next new thing comes in. When you can see life as a cycle of experiencing something and then reflecting, both of which are equally valuable, every moment of your life can start to feel like it's full of good stuff for you. So that's pretty clear cut. Don't really need to get into that any further. So, sorry. I'm in my partner's office, well, my fiance now, his office, and his chair is like so squeaky. Okay, moving on to the Earth transit. So this is the energy we're grounding in, and it is the gate 5 coming out of the sacral. It's all about synchronistic timing. So this is where we are going to be noticing synchronicities from the universe, as well as opportunities, new opportunities coming in for us. So being super supported in new beginnings right now. So those with the gift 5, which is going to be all of us for the next 3 more days, have a knack for divine perfect timing and living in flow. When they're being their real self, they are unfussed about making their day look like everyone else's. So for example, waking up at 7 a.m. at your desk from 9 to 5 with a lunch break at 1. Yeah, that is not this energy right now. So these folks are built to time their day unconventionally, and that's for a good reason, because that's the pace that's going to bring out the best in them. So deep in your bones, you know that life isn't meant to be a string of groundhog days that we're enslaved to. It's a much more organic flow. So sticking ourselves into a rigid routine, is like putting blinders on. You leave no space for synchronicities and opportunities to pop into your field, much less be able to follow where they take you. Give 5 people know that we're not here to be stuck in a timing structure, and that when we let go of that, we're much more able to intuitively be and go where we're feeling pulled to at the time we're feeling pulled to it. We miss so much by pre-structuring our lives. And so for you, or for us with the Give 5, that feels especially restrictive right now. So if you've been setting up your days like the rest of the world until now, it's likely been weighing heavy on your spirit and draining your energy. So I can tell you, I have this gate normally in my chart. Now, if you've ever really dove deep into your human design chart, you will notice that it can be filled with contradicting energies. So, and I'm going to tell you my experience with that. So I have this one defined in my chart. Now I also have the 9 defined in my chart, and that is the very opposite energy of this. So it's all about structure and routine, whereas this one is all about not that. Basically, it's opposite of that, right? And so it's all about finding the balance. So for me especially, and you've probably got tons of those contradicting energies in your chart as well. And you can find that because those are going to be the things that you're meant to focus on in this lifetime of creating balance for yourself. So it's just so humorous to me. The universe has jokes. Actually, my soul has jokes, right? But we're just all funny jokesters. Okay, anyways, where was I? Yeah. So how this has been showing up for me. So I feel like I thrive very much on structure and routine. I'm a massive creature of habit. But this week, no. I have totally rebuked my schedule, obviously, because I'm 3 days late on even recording this transit episode for you guys. I haven't worked out in 3 or 4 days. I don't even remember. And I'm not on my meal plan anymore. I went to Dunkin' Donuts and Bojangles for breakfast this morning, if that tells you anything, because I had to have donuts and Bowberry biscuits, which is definitely not a part of my diet. So those are just a few things to give you an example. I am very much out of my routine, and I'm going to tell you what, it feels very good. So if you've noticed yourself doing things like that this week that are not typical of you, just know it's probably something to do with this energy, okay? Because this is definitely a fly by the seat of your pants, go with the flow, very present moment. What do you want to do right now? And not really thinking about too much as far as scheduling things for future. So anyways, moving forward, how can we make the most of this energy? And she says by finding your preferences. So it's time to ask yourself, what would feel better to me? Maybe you're a night owl, or you love to get up super early. Maybe you like taking naps in the middle of the day. Whatever feels natural to you in terms of timing, that is what you're meant to do. That is the universe trying to put you in the right places at the right times. So this is where you're really going to have to tap into what your body wants to do at any given moment, what feels right for you. Nobody else can tell you that. This is really focused inward. What feels good to you? And then do it. Because that is the universe's way like she says, of trying to put you in the right places at the right times. And in doing so, you are here to show others this new and better approach to living life and honoring our innate energy patterns as a way of maximizing your potential and your happiness. This isn't just about what feels good to you at the cost of not keeping up with the rest of the world. Because when you're brave enough to detach from being so in your daily routine, you can see so much more clearly. Your consciousness will start to elevate, and you'll spot so many more things that you previously couldn't. These are the very things that fast track you to success. And I can tell you this is truth, especially for this week, you guys. I've experienced it for myself. I let go of my routine. And I'm going to tell you what, today was like the first day I feel like I really dove into this energy and just making it a point to see where I was led throughout the day and just how my day went, by doing what she's talking about here in this book. And it was just fascinating. Like, I noticed like towards the end of the day, I started seeing like synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity. It was like boom, 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 boom. Everywhere I looked was like these signs coming in from the universe, just like telling me like, you're good, girl, affirming things that I've been thinking and worried about, especially when I was experiencing my emotional low over the past couple of days, things that fears and guilt and shame and all of these things that were coming up. Like I was getting some signs from the universe that like all is well, I'm on the right path, everything's good. And, so yeah, it's been like a really, really cool experience tapping into that. Now, what blocks us here? And Jenna Zoe says it's rigidity. So being too rigid. If you've been conditioned with fear, a person with the gift 5 can feel the opposite of their design, like everything is out of order and that nothing goes well unless we stick to rigid rules. I can concur. From my conditioning, this was me. If you feel this, know that it's not bad. You came here to transform this fear in yourself and transform it into something way better and modeling it for everyone else. We often praise people who don't make time for themselves and the little things in their race to the top. But the two things are actually unrelated to each other. Winston Churchill, for example, took a nap every afternoon while he was Prime Minister of England during World War II. And guess what? Still won the battle. If a ritual is calling you, it is for a reason. Don't be afraid to follow it, and you'll see that it will give back to you in a myriad of ways. How much value you provide to others is in the quality and intentionality of what you do, not how much you sacrifice yourself for it. Prime example, just could not get on here and record this, you guys. Like it would have murdered my energy had I forced myself to do it. I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm waiting until it's time, which is like not a very like manifestor type of behavior. Like, we're not supposed to wait for anybody, but I'm going to tell you what, this is what I was called to do. It was very much in alignment for me and I did it. Like, it's the same thing, like human design, it's an experiment, okay? This is very general information that I'm giving to you. It's meant to be experimented with. It's meant to see, like, what works for you and what doesn't. And I can tell you a lot of the things that are, as far as, like, a manifestor, a lot of the things that are spoken about a manifestor, I'm just like, no. That's not for me. I'm going to do what feels good to me, for me. So please, like, take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's all general anyways. And I'm not going to go, like, too much further into this, but this transit is all very much like, do what works for you, do what feels good for you, follow the things that light you up, set your own rules for your life, and you're golden. And also, like, be open to seeing, like, synchronicities from the universe along the way. Be open to experiencing new things. Be open to, last minute changes in, your day. Like, be open to, like, unexpected things that could pop up. Because, that could be, like, the universe's way of, like, hey, over here, directing you. I mean, it's all for a purpose, right? We could talk about it all day long. But, I've already talked for 29 minutes today and shared my experience with you. So, I have done my duty in this transit. Thank you very much. You are welcome. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.